Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Disney Antiquities and Collectibles. Today is a special day. I'm going to be interviewing my co-host, Matt McKim. How you doing today, Matty?
I'm doing okay. I think I'm ready for you.
You're ready.
You've got some hard questions, so
I do. I've got some questions that are very. We're just going to cut right to. It's going to be a Robert Downey Jr. kind of interview. It's going to be just tough.
okay. I'll try to be prepared.
Okay, you'll try to be prepared. So let me just give a basic. Let's just start off basic. How is the event in November coming along? What what are you going through at this time with all of the preparations for it?
Beyond stress?
Yeah, beyond stress.
No. It's a good stress because we're doing this out of love, so it's exciting. It's also kind of frustrating because we still have some questions and we still have some things that we're working on, some exciting things.
Yeah.
But we're basically locked into the Bowers Museum in Santa Ana for Sunday, November 10th, which is a 3-day weekend for Veterans Day.
Yeah.
So folks, don't be traveling unless you're traveling to us. Yeah. But this it is going to be very exciting. We've got obviously, other than family and friends helping us put this all together, but we've also got WDI colleagues, and so it's exciting. I mean, we don't have everything down to the nitty gritty that's going to be on display, but we have a list of things that have never been seen in the public eye yet.
Yeah.
And actually some things that have not been seen within WDI or WED since its inception and presentation. So some very exciting things here.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything is going to be originals. It'll be basically a museum exhibit.
Yeah. Funny, every time, we go into your dad's office and I see something, right? It's like, wow, what else can there be? What more can there be hidden? But there's still so much more that you haven't gone through.
We're still going through things. So, and we're still finding little treasures.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Jimmy Cagney sketch.
Yeah.
That was done for my dad and signed to him. Yeah. And my dad spoke of it for years and never knew where it was. And 4-6 weeks ago, opened up a box and there it was.
Yeah. And for those that haven't seen it, the Jimmy Cagney sketch will be on display at the Bowers Museum. Again, the date is going to be November 11th.
10th.
Thank you. The 11th is, I'm thinking of the holiday. November 10th.
We'll be recovering on the 11th.
Yeah, we'll be recovering on the 11th, yes. I'm still hoping for a Jimmy Stewart somewhere, a sketch like that. Jimmy's my guy, so.
If there is something like that, my dad was in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Yeah.
And my dad would make sketches himself and then ask some of these stars to sign them for him. So there could be. I don't know of any, but who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, there are there somewhere, but we haven't found them yet.
Everybody that we've talked to, they're very receptive. They're very excited. They're very, looking forward to this.
D23 was a great D23 was a great kind of test to see how people would react to this. And I mean, obviously we've spoken about it and people have responded very favorably, but it's being very receptive. There's been a lot of people asking, okay, when do the tickets go on sale? So, we'll talk about that too.
Yeah. One of the things that we haven't told anybody and we decided it was going to be something is there are going to be 2 panels.
Yes.
Because how many shows are there going to be?
So we're going to have 2 presentations on the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I think check-in will be about 2:30 for the first one.
Okay.
We are talking about doing a VIP for the first couple of rows.
Okay.
And with that would be some little specialty things that come with that. Obviously,
Yeah.
you're getting in a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
You'll be able to have more of a setup to meet a few people,
Yeah.
and you'll be first in line for merchandise,
Yeah.
which we'll get to later. What else? So the first one, the check-in would be about 2:00 at this point, is what we're thinking. The second one would be around the 3:30 point.
Okay.
Yeah. For general admission, and it's a theater that seats just under 300.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful little theater. I really like that theater.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and of course, there have been other events. There's been, Chris Crump did his dad's there,
Yeah.
Rolly Crump,
Yeah.
and Dusty Sage has used that many a times too. So
Yeah.
now we're also in the space outside of the theater. There's a very large space. We'll be using probably, what is it, something like 30 by 50, something like
Yeah.
that. It's a big
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And so that's where our pre-show will be, where all of these original pieces of art and
Yeah.
artifacts and film clips and that sort of thing will be out there for people to look at before
Yeah.
coming into the theater.
Yeah.
So you were talking about panels.
Yeah.
So
Panels. Did you care to talk about a guest, one guest, two guests? We'll go through this more and more.
So we're not sure about the moderator at this point, but and I think what we're going to end up doing is, for one show, my brother will be on the panel,
Okay.
and for the other one, it'll be my sister-in-law, Dor. We call her Dor.
Yeah.
So I should explain this. So my mom's name is Dorothy.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law's name is Dorothy.
Yeah.
So my dad used to call my mom Dot or Dottie,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but she's kind of, after my dad's death, she's kind of gone back to Dorothy.
Yeah.
But we've always called my sister-in-law Dor, D-O-R.
Yeah.
So anyways, so that's set up. And we also have Willie Ito, the infamous Willie Ito, that is said that he is definitely willing to join us for one of those panels.
Yes.
And also the amazing Floyd Norman. So we've got a couple of old-time animators that knew my dad, and we'll spin a couple of stories. So,
it was when I reached out to both of them, it was without hesitation. Anything for Sam.
That was so kind. I mean, they're wonderful gentlemen.
Yeah.
Set aside, but it's touching to hear that.
Yeah.
They're good men.
So many people have reached out, and I want to volunteer.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm there. Sam, you see how far and wide Sam's reach was in the community, the Disney community, that he was so well loved and respected and thought of as, like you said, he was the ultimate gentleman.
So,
and it's a lot of fun.
We're going to have a couple of VIP guests at the Bowers.
Yes.
And we'll get to that in 1 second. But we're the big gala event, which will happen in December. Yes. We don't know exactly the date, if it'll be like a Monday the 16th or a Friday the 20th.
Yeah.
Maybe getting closer to Christmas might be a little bit of a difficult thing. So maybe closer to the 16th.
Yeah.
I don't want to share quite yet. We're so close to having it locked in. But it's a very special place with roots there for my dad. So anyways, there we'll be inviting probably don't know how many we'll actually get, but we're going to be inviting approximately 75 VIP guests
Yeah.
for that event, and that
Yeah.
will range from um, Hollywood VIPs to Imagineering VIPs to studio and animation VIPs. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
But we're also in the process right now of doing is gathering up a bunch of these colleagues
Yeah.
for video clips
Yeah.
of them talking about my dad, spinning a couple of stories.
Yeah.
So those will be part of the presentations.
Yeah.
Um, Probably much more in the gala event.
Yeah.
And with that, um, it'll be more of a cocktail attire, even though we're
Yeah.
calling it a gala event. It won't be
Yeah.
black tie,
No.
but a little bit more formal.
Yeah.
And we probably should mention that people have been hearing us talk about at the Bowers that we're going to have some merchandise available with some of my dad's. There you go.
Yeah.
Some of my dad's artwork on some merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at glassware, some
Yeah.
really fun stuff that we plan
Yeah.
to do, and some sets within that, to some pins. We'll get to that in a minute. And we're also going to have a neat little selection of giclées.
Yeah.
So it's a higher level of print if people aren't familiar with giclées. And
Originals.
and off of the originals, which the
Yeah.
originals will be on display also. So you'll see
Yeah.
the originals, and then you can buy one of these giclées.
Yeah.
We're planning on 5x7s, so they're not too large. It's kind of easy to find a place in your home for that.
Yeah.
And that'll be from Disney related to personal pieces
Yeah.
that my dad has done through the years. So what else?
Well,
A
real
couple of other
quickly,
items for sale too.
he just mentioned a pin, and we're going to show this pin. For those of you that are watching, stay tuned, because the pin, the very first pin, is going to be revealed of what we're going to have, at least one of them. And you guys are going to lose your minds over this pin, because it's unique, it's original, it's really, really interesting. And
So
we can't wait. So go ahead, Maddie.
so I was just going to say we'll divulge a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense. So
Yeah.
we're going to show you one of the pins. We have a total of 3 pins,
Mm-hmm.
2 bolo ties,
Yes.
and you'll understand the thought of doing a bolo tie. So we've got 2 designs for that. Yeah, I'm almost tempted to talk about just to mention them, but not show you. Should I? For the bolo?
It doesn't seem like anybody's interested. I mean, there's a few people watching, but I don't know
Yeah.
if people. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's. Do you want to show the back of the first pin, and we'll just kind of
Okay.
give them a little bit of teaser for that.
Okay. So you want to show the back before the front, huh?
Sure. Let's show the back.
Okay.
Let's just show the back of what the first pin's gonna look like, guys.
So here it is. Great Moments with Mr. McKim, Disney Legend Centennial Celebration, 1924 to 2024, and then his signature, which amazingly never changed. I don't know how he was able to do so many of those signatures, and it never changed.
It's kind of it's unique in the fact that your dad's signature never changed. Walt changed his signature every 10 years, so I mean, your dad's signature is just so it's so your dad's signature is just perfect every time, that whipping S,
almost.
the M,
Yeah. I could never be so consistent. Well,
yes.
okay, and we'll get to you in a minute here, Michelle, because you do want to know about the bolo ties.
Yes.
So here we've got Michael Roman. Did you just put that
Hi,
up?
Michael. Yeah.
Oh, Michael. Hello.
Yes.
Okay, so you ready for the front?
Everybody, you ready? The reveal, the front pin.
Okay, you know
Get
it
ready
has to
for it,
do with
Maddie.
Lincoln.
There
Here we
you go,
go.
guys.
So this is my dad's artwork of Abraham Lincoln set inside a cloisonne. So, and this pin is pretty good size. What did we say it was? Two. It's basically 2.5 by 2.5 inches.
Yeah.
So this is the size of it. Everything else goes much smaller,
Yeah.
but that's the size of it.
Yeah.
So
We got to, before we go any further, we got to thank a special individual who worked with us, helped us develop colors, everything.
absolutely,
Joshua Schaefer. Joshua,
Joshua Schaefer. Thank you,
Joshua, if you're
Joshua.
out there, thank you so much. If you see this, we appreciate it. You did these justice, and we couldn't be
Yes.
happier.
Oh, they're beautiful, and Joshua was so accommodating of changing some of the artwork that like the globe.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, should I mention it?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you notice the design of the globe in this artwork here, this pin, um, that was added. That was not there for the 64-65 World's Fair. When they did an update in 1976, I believe it was for the bicentennial. I don't think it's
Mm-hmm.
a coincidence. They added this globe. They added the globe, a
Yes.
globe. And when I was a part of the new show, which was the 2001 version of it, um, this globe was going to be thrown away. And so I rescued it, and it's actually at my home. So that will be actually on display at the Bowers Museum. So, and it's funny. So Josh ended up putting the newer designed globe on the pin, and I said, if you don't mind, let's go back to this design, which is actually a little bit more period.
Yeah.
So, and Josh just did a beautiful job, and he with all the little tweaks and things that we did, he never complained. He
No.
was he was such a trooper through all of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So
He really was. And that's what, that's the thing is, there's other pins to be revealed later on, guys, and this one's stunning. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. The other pins that we're going to be showing you are fantastic. Um, you know, but
this is the only one we're going to share with you today.
yeah, yeah, this is the only one we're going to share today. But remember,
Well,
guys, these pins are going to be very limited. They're going to be very limited. We didn't want to, over inundate everybody
overdo
with,
it.
so many different things. So, we're just trying to keep it limited. These are definitely going to be on sale though at the Bowers Museum, along with the other pins, the bolo ties. Do you want to maybe talk? I know Michelle wants to kind of know more about the bolos. It's up to
Yeah.
you, Maddie. It's your show. Today's your day, brother.
Well, how about if we just talk about it but not show you? That
Okay.
kind of leaves it kind of as a fun little mystery, huh? A teaser.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll go back to some of the serials that my dad used to do way back in the 30s.
Yeah.
Before it'd leave you on a cliffhanger, at the end. What's going to happen next, right? Um, so there's the transition then for the bolo ties. So everyone thinks Western with bolo ties.
Yeah.
We have one that is actually Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
It's a profile of Uncle Sam that my dad did back in 1941. So
Mm-hmm.
he was born in 24, but the end of 24. So he was probably like
17,
16 at the time.
16, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we made that into a cloisonne, which will be part of this bolo tie. But it's full color with a red, white, and blues, of course, that my dad painted this thing with. But it's a cloisonne,
Yeah.
and the leather for it is red and black, and the tips on the bolo tie are actually eagle's heads. So I'm going to tell you that much because it's pretty cool. The second bolo tie is a nickel metal, and like you used to see the initials for Smoke Tree Ranch,
Yes.
kind of the branding.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke Tree Ranch, STR.
Mm-hmm.
This one is actually SMC.
Yeah.
And so my brother came up with this design. So it's kind of a nod to the Smoke Tree Ranch,
Yeah.
and but it's my dad's initials.
Yeah.
Very
It
simple,
looks really
black
neat.
leather.
Guys, we go back and forth, wanting to reveal so many things because we're just so again, we can't wait for all of you to see it. When you guys are there at the Bowers Museum with us. Um, so many different things. You took the G clays, the pins, you
Glassware.
know, yeah, glassware. There's so many things that we're gonna have, and such an amazing display. Um, we wanted to ask as well if anybody has any pictures of Sam or anything that you would like to share, or something memorable that maybe we don't have or haven't seen. We would love for you to reach out to us. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody here
that'd
has
be great.
probably got some amazing pictures. That would be a lot of fun,
Yeah,
going back. I know Danny does, and there's quite a few people, Bob, but it'd be fun to see what people have, and possibly, maybe have them on display if it's unique enough.
sure,
It
sure.
it'd
If
be
people
it'd be
give
kind of
us
neat. And
permission,
yeah, with your permission, with crediting you for the photo, if there's pictures that you have of Sam or anything like that,
I
we'd
think
love
that would
to.
be great.
Yeah, reach
I
out
think
to
it would
us,
be great.
please. Getting
Oh,
back to the presentation itself, one of the this one's fun because I'm gonna go ahead and reveal this one because this is more me than you, and I love this because um doing the announcement that day at the
this is
Bowers
not more
Museum.
you than me, Vince.
What do you mean? These
This is
people are
not
the
for you.
soundtrack of my life, young man. My
Uh,
daughters, and probably my granddaughter now. But yeah, so for you guys that hear, I mean, it's exciting to me. I turn into a kid, and Matt laughs at me because I turn into a geeky kid. Doing the announcing that day is going to be Camille Dixon and Bill Rogers. They were so gracious and so kind to be
yes.
able to say, and you guys know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that announcement the minute it starts,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're just so excited. And we got to talk to them the other day at D23, and then we got to speak to them while they were traveling a little bit. And they just, again, the same thing. They just were so gracious and said whatever we could
Very,
do, we're happy to help. And
very gracious.
that that
Yeah.
that goes to show your family, though. How your family is just such a Disney family. You grew up with that. Have you always known that your family has just got this pedigree to it, this history, this, you know?
No, you don't think of that stuff. It's, you go in and you work and you do your best and you have fun, and it's family,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Um, it's funny because I don't know if I shared this with people, but so a couple people that were big parts of Disney way back when. So actually, the first. Ooh, I should be careful about saying that. I think he was the first uh, character voice that throughout Disneyland that made an announcement was Jack Wagner.
Yes.
I believe he was the first.
Yeah. I believe you're right.
Um,
And me and Bill talked about it at D23. He hasn't been made a Disney legend.
I
And
know,
he
which is
absolutely
amazing.
should be. He absolutely should be.
Yeah, Jack and Jack was just very down to earth and a very kind man. But the interesting thing about that was, or interesting story, is that he was a child actor the same time my dad was. They knew
Yeah.
each other as kids,
Yeah.
in the acting world before Disney came along.
Wow.
And it turns out that Jack Lindquist from Disneyland was also a child actor with
Really?
my dad way back when. Um,
Okay.
so, and then of course, most people know that my dad tried out for the voice of Pinocchio, didn't get it,
Yeah.
lost out to Dickie Moore.
Yeah.
And Dickie Moore was an old friend of my dad's as a child actor too.
Yeah.
So, there were all these kids that were acting in the 30s that ended up having a strong Disney connection later
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
you getting to meet all of to everybody. They're legends now and these people, but at the time that you're there as a kid growing up, they're just friends of the family and people that came over for Christmas parties and things like that. But you talk about so well, but that stuff has to sit in your mind even all these years later, doesn't it? I mean, the people that were just so gracious to you and your family.
Yeah, yeah. And what's funny is, and I've talked about the five favorite Imagineers growing up that
Yeah.
talked to me and not down to me as a kid.
Yeah.
And and they were, I'll mention them now and then I'll talk about one of them. But Herb Ryman, Herbie,
Yeah. Yeah.
Leota Toombs,
Yeah.
Alice Davis, Harriet Burns, George McGinnis.
Yeah.
Those were my five favorite growing up. They talked to me,
Yeah.
and with a true interest in what I was doing and what
Yeah.
my thoughts and dreams were. But with Herbie, um, what a great guy, and all the time that I was around him and everything. And the funny thing is, when he passed away, I stopped and I a little bit later, and I thought, oh my gosh, I even have a photograph with him? I think I do, and I think about some of the parties out on the patio at WDI and everything, and it's like I'm sure there's something there, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever got an autograph from him,
Yeah.
him to sign something for me.
Yeah.
And you don't think of those things,
No.
it's like my dad saying, not getting Walt to sign something for him. He didn't think of it.
Yeah.
You're in the middle
Y-
of work and or
Yeah.
pleasure or whatever it is, and you just don't think of it.
When you're there, you're just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
D23, I got some people to sign my book, but you're just talking to people and you're enjoying the conversation, enjoying the person, and you forget to ask them, "Oh, could we take a picture? Oh, could we?" And
Yeah.
so it's just one of those things. I wanted to take a picture with Leslie Iwerks so bad, but I know she was busy and moving on. So, but it's those things that I go, okay, I gotta try to do it, but at the same time, I'm just enjoying the moment. So
Yeah.
that's that
So
fine line.
so you weren't in those photographs with Leslie?
I was in one picture, but I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
who took
I thought
it.
so. Oh,
I
oh, oh,
I
oh.
don't know who took it, so I
Okay.
can't find it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've asked everybody I thought took it, and they're like, no. So
Oh,
you know,
no. Yeah, I thought you were in those photos.
yeah, so did I. But
Yeah.
again, um, but getting back to the Bowers, I'm excited because they have worked with us. They've been so gracious. Dusty Sage has been, so just helping us. Kathy Peroni, he's been great helping us. So many people that we don't want to
Barb
forget and reach out to and just say thank you so much. This
yeah,
event,
Barbara,
guys, it's
Eric,
it's
and Eric.
yeah, it's going to be once in a lifetime, and I had a chance to come by and see the displays and all these originals. Have you gone through and just decided, and this is a tough question, I get it, but have you gone through and decided all this stuff? Where's it going to go 20, 30 years from now? What have you given it some thought about where you would like to see it or where it's going to be?
We've talked about it, but we don't have answers.
Yeah.
Is this going to be something that my nephew is going to, load upon his shoulders to take upon and take care of it?
Yeah.
Um, and these will be things that we're going to be talking about, fleshing out and figuring out.
Yeah.
Does it go someplace? Does it go to a museum, a collection, or whatever?
Yeah.
Um, but the thing that the family is trying to do is to keep this complete and not
Yeah.
just scatter it to the winds.
Yeah.
Um, but which you can do to share with people, but we prefer to share it with people as a collection,
Yes.
and within that collection to actually have the stories that go with the piece or
Yeah.
pieces. And it's one thing if a piece is in a museum or in a collection, and you have a bit of the story, but um, we're trying to preserve it with the full story. And and at this point, it's easy because my brother, myself, my sister-in-law too, being around him for so many years, they know these stories and they know these connections.
Yeah.
But as you get farther and farther down the line, if they're not documented properly or written down properly, they'll disappear.
Yeah.
And I think I was telling you too, this kind of surprised me. I was talking to my brother the other day, and where he was committing to be on one of the panels.
Yeah.
um, he threw a couple of stories out about Dad, and there were a couple of stories there that I had never heard.
Yeah.
So even me,
Yeah.
my brother's what, a little over 6 years older than me.
Hmm.
So yeah, he had a little bit more experience with my dad than I did, but
Yeah.
um, yeah.
It's these stories though. It's the stories of, it's the fabric of our lives. They're your dad, like I think of my parents and all that I missed out on, because I don't know the stories. For you, people have so many amazing stories, and you don't want that getting lost to history,
No, no.
to find where they would go, where his things belong, because these are just their history. They're living, breathing history. And I hope people, understand this and try to teach the people now. If you go to Disneyland or you go to DCA or, you know, any Disney, area, and you ask them, oh, do you know who, Sam McKim is? Do you know, it's interesting that the history is kind of getting lost, and to finding out that this next generation doesn't even believe that Walt was a real person. That
Mm,
that right there is mind blowing to me. It's
right,
it's
right.
amazing to me. So hopefully that's something we can help preserve with, this celebration, with this presentation.
Yes, yes.
Are you
And
are
and
you are you looking forward to it? Are you looking forward to, is it, I know it's stressful, but at the end of the day, it's an amazing presentation. Are you getting
oh,
excited about it? It's
yeah,
just
oh,
over 2 months
absolutely.
away.
I know, I know. Yeah, thank you for scaring me. No, it's there's a lot of work to be done yet,
Yeah.
but there's so many people too that are helping out um, and gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Um, it's and the thing that just kind of excites me is that so much of this stuff has either been in a drawer, stacked up upon itself, in a box, not
Yeah.
seen for how many decades, you
Yeah.
know? And finally, this stuff is getting out, it's getting organized, and we're, figuring out what's the best way to display it.
Yeah.
Um, so you can get up close to it and see
Yeah.
brush strokes or finger marks on something or the fabric
Notes.
that it's made of.
Yeah.
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 Um,
That's the one thing I love is your dad has notes along the side of so many different things, what was going through his head.
yes.
And again, if you guys come to the Bowers Museum, you are definitely going to get to see these up close and personal firsthand. And again, it's November 10th, guys. We're going to be announcing ticket sales shortly, but um when you look at your dad's work, you know, as kids, did you and your brother, was that something you said to each other, you and your brother, did you ever talk about it? I want to follow in dad's footsteps. I want to work at Disney. Was that ever something you guys spoke about?
Um, yeah, it did. You know, having gone over to WED as a kid,
Yeah.
um, and sometimes it was for business purposes, actually. So it
Yeah.
wasn't just to go in, have lunch, but it was, okay, now let's go into the back. I've got this shooting uh, gallery set up, and I want to get an 8-year-old's opinion on is this good, what works, what doesn't, what do you like,
Yeah.
what don't you like, that sort of a thing. It was, test and adjust. And and then there were open houses, and they didn't have it every year, but they would have open houses for the family members. So yeah, I remember, walking through Mapo and seeing all the AA figures they were working on and some of the displays and what's coming up. And going over to the Tahunga facility during the Epcot, before Epcot opened, and seeing some of the shows that they were setting up,
Yeah.
for buy off and such.
Yeah.
And so this is, before they were even packed up and shipped out to Florida.
Yeah.
So, and I remember seeing Country Bear Jamboree set up and running, but in Japanese. So, that was fun,
Yeah.
because that was our first international part that
Yeah.
Disney was doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I would go up to my dad's office. I would, see people I knew, meeting new people I didn't know,
Yeah.
and kind of, walk in the halls a little bit and seeing what's going on and what's happening. And so, and to a kid, that's exciting because it's
Yes.
it's it's like a playground for adults.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't want to work in a factory per se. I wanted to work here.
Yeah.
So I tailored myself to that.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
loved art, and I was always, putting on productions and such in the neighborhood. And so I was a showman and an artist. So I figured, okay, that kind of fits within Imagineering. And going to art, being an art major and everything else. Though at one point I thought I was going to switch to film at one point in my life, but I switched back. I kept my major being art. Long story.
Acting and maybe acting was acting in there at all?
Okay, so you brought up the acting part. Yeah, at one point in my life, I thought I wanted to be an actor, and I did a couple of commercials um, no, one commercial and one movie, little bit part in a movie. And so my folks sat me down. I think I was probably about 16, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And my dad said, "Okay, Matt, your mom and I are very supportive, and we'll support you in anything you want to do, any career you want to pick up and run with, except one." And he said, "If you want to be an actor, you're on your own." Yeah,
But you should
my
have said,
dad.
"Dad, you did it. You
Yeah,
were
I
a
know,
child
I know.
actor."
Well, and that's the thing. He saw what it was doing even back then to some of those
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
And he just said, it's gotten to be a harder industry, and it can
Yeah.
eat up, especially kids, eat them
Yeah.
up and spit them out. They really
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
And he says, "I really don't want you in that business. It's
Yeah.
it's I love you and I care about you. I don't want you getting into that."
Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna give. I kind of started giving up on that by the time I got into college,
Yeah.
and I didn't think I was necessarily good looking enough to be, not necessarily leading man, but just, successful at it, right? And I didn't want to
Okay.
be a character actor per se either. But
Yeah.
anyways, I thought, okay, I'll go behind the camera. I'll get into directing.
Yeah.
So I started taking the classes, and I couldn't get into the department. So I just said, okay, I guess God's telling me stick with the art. So yeah, I was a
Well,
sculptor
and that was pretty good. That turned out pretty good for
oh
you, you know?
yeah. Oh,
You know?
absolutely. I don't regret it.
Yeah.
You kind of always play ifs, and what if I had gotten into the business or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, 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 no. But my what I did with Disney and what I did outside of Disney,
Yeah.
I'm proud of, and had a great time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what's fun is, your career leads you to so many different opportunities and what you do and who you are as a person. Um,
And
you
the
know, I
people.
yeah, people and friends. And one question I get asked, when people, if they're not Facebook friends with you, and they ask me, the one thing that gets asked is, I mean, I know the answer, but I'll ask you here for everybody to know. um, did you ever years old when he passed away,
Wait,
but did you
sorry,
get a chance
you
to meet
froze.
Walt Disney?
Oh, okay. I
Or
did
no?
not. I
Yeah.
did not.
You were 2
Um,
years old.
yeah, I was about 2 years old, and I did not.
Okay.
Um, you know, Especially in those years, Walt was extremely busy. I
Yeah.
mean, when you really think about what was going on in that time period,
Mhm.
um, the films, the education that they were doing, the records and books, periodicals, the World's Fair. That was such a crazy time for the company also.
Yeah.
Um, but actually about that time period, and I know my brother used to go to the Christmas parties at the studio.
Yeah.
And I was too young when Walt was alive for those
Yeah.
Christmas parties.
Yeah.
But I did go to them much later,
Yeah.
when I was a little bit older. But my dad had, and I think I was telling you this, my dad was working on the Nomobile.
Uh-huh.
And so he would take pictures of people modeling for things as he was doing storyboards and paintings and such for the different movies and like. And so the big Rolls Royce was down on the lot. Brian remembers going into a room. So it must have been actually on one of the sound stages. So they were keeping it clean and protected so people wouldn't, bother it.
Yeah.
So my dad took him down, and he was setting up where they were. Karen was actually down at the pedals.
Karen Dotrice. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was steering. So my dad had him posing for some of these positions, right?
Uh-huh.
In the Rolls Royce, and Brian's got them actually a few of those framed.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, we're going to have those on display with some of the paintings and storyboards from Nomobile.
Yeah.
So those will be there. But anyways, he says, okay, he says, Brian, come on, I'm going to go. Let's go up to Walt's office. I'll introduce you.
Uh-huh.
So Brian would have been about 6 or 7 at that time. Probably about 6, actually, about 6, because it was earlier.
Yeah.
And so anyways, they get up there, and Walt went home early.
Oh.
And my dad said, Walt never went home early of all the days.
Yeah. Speaking of the Nomobile, some people don't know this. Walter Brennan was not the original choice for the Nomobile. Who was that original choice?
Well, I just happen to have the painting here because of an earlier. Should I show the painting?
I think the people that have stayed, I think they would love to see who the original choice for the Nomobile was.
Well, for the grandfather.
For the grandfather, yes.
Yeah. See if you could recognize this actor. This is before it turned into Walter Brennan.
Oh, your camera. Oh, there it went. Okay. Does anybody recognize the face? If you do, put it in the comments. We'll see if you get it right.
Should we zoom in?
See if anybody knows. After you say it, people are gonna go, yes. I can see it. No, not Eastwood. Not Eastwood. It was. Yeah.
You want me to zoom in more again?
No, you can. Yeah, you can zoom in one more time, and then we'll. If nobody's got an answer, we'll give it to them. Does anybody have a guess? Anyone? You can see it clear as day to me now, but it's kind of neat.
But
no, not Walter Matthau. No, not Walter Matthau.
Should we give a hint?
Oh, yep.
You want to give a film that he did?
Mr. Burdine. Mr. Burdine knew the answer.
There we go. Oh, he heard the story.
Yeah.
Here we go. And Scott said Tracy. Yep.
Yeah.
So Spencer Tracy was a friend of Walt's. And I don't know if he was actually a neighbor also. I'm not sure. But I remember coming across this painting in my dad's studio. I said, hey, Mom, this doesn't look like Walter Brennan. I said, you know who that looks like? That looks like Spencer Tracy. And she says, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So he wanted the role. Walt said fine and everything. And then at the last minute, he had to pull out, and they replaced him with Walter Brennan. Yeah.
Which was interesting. Michael Roman got, a couple of statements. Michael, we're going to try with the Disney Family Museum to do a temporary exhibit. They've expressed interest. So we'll see about that.
In discussion.
but he's also wanting to know, since you don't have a photo and autograph with Herbie, will you and your brother be taking pictures and things like that after the
Yes,
presentations?
yes,
Okay,
yes, we will.
very good.
So
Yeah. So yeah, guys, they're definitely going to be there. They're definitely going to sign, and with time permitting, I mean, we're 300 people were, for two shows. We're, it's going to be based on time, but yeah, we're going to try. We've got some other things in the works where, if these two presentations go really well, we're going to try to do more in the future as far as panels and discussions and things like that, because, again, we don't want the history to be lost. We talked about it last week. The HHA does this, and whatever we can work out with them in the future is something we're really looking forward to, and seeing what they can do. So we'll see.
yes,
They're very impressive. They're very impressive.
yes, they are. Yes, they are very professional
Yeah.
and very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanted to mention that. So at the Bowers, we're going to have some items for sale,
Yes.
but at the gala event, and I almost
Yes.
slipped up and said where we're hoping it's going to be, but at the gala event,
Don't
there
yeah.
won't be. I know there won't be. There won't be anything for sale there,
Yes.
but everyone will get a gift bag with a few
Yes.
items inside.
Yeah.
So there's no added cost to that. It's
Yeah.
part of the ticket price, and but
Yeah.
nothing for sale at that point.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing is, where we're hoping the event is, we just want you to come enjoy, you know, meeting VIPs, and just enjoying the whole atmosphere, the surrounding area.
and we're gonna also have items, originals and such on display also there too,
Yeah.
and we'll like I said, we haven't locked everything down as far as what we're showing where, but we'll try to change out things. So if you end up buying tickets to both, you're not going to see just the same stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, again, trying to we're trying to keep everything, so people can come and see and enjoy, and just, have a lot of fun. We want people to enjoy themselves, see things they haven't seen, a part of natural living history family can really bring to you. It's incredible. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and it's funny because Matt calls me the president of PR for him, but uh, we have an idea, and we are going to be at the barn September 15th. So come out. I know the barn always has special guests and things like that, so that should be a lot of fun. The 16th, should we go ahead and tell them where we're going to be, what we're going to do?
go for it, Mr. President.
Okay, Mr. President. Yeah. So the 16th. So September 16th, if you guys are there, if you are going to be at Disneyland, the 16th, Matt and I are going to be there. We are going to be passing out 2 tickets to the Bowers Museum. All you have to do is find us that day. We are going to be there the 16th. So look for us. We will be there. Is there anything else that we may have, that besides 2 tickets to the Bowers? Is there anything?
Should we give one
Yes.
of these away?
I think, yeah, for those that don't find us, for those that find us after the tickets are found, we'll be giving you a pin. If you can find us, after the tickets are given away, we will be giving a pin away, an exclusive Bowers Museum Sam McKim. That is, we will give one of those away. So again, September 16th, we will be at Disneyland. Let's see. Michael Roman, how much time should we allow to see the exhibit before or after the event on the 10th? Matthew, take it away.
So we're basically going to be opening that space up for about an hour, to just over an hour at this point is what we're thinking, and
Yeah.
then we're going to escort you into into the theater, someone will be making an special announcement to invite you to leave the pre-show and go into the theater.
Yes.
Are you actually going to
Yes.
say who that is, or not?
I want to. I don't. They've said they would, but I want to confirm it with the man himself.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let's
So
we'll talk to the
somebody
man
very
himself, and then we'll confirm it.
okay. Someone very special will be making the
Yes.
announcement that it's time to enter the theater,
Yeah.
and actually we have another little VIP guest that will be there
Yeah.
in the beginning. And we have another VIP guest that will be making an appearance for both presentations.
Yeah.
Should we leave it at that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can
I don't think
we
we
can
should
leave it
do
at
it.
that for now.
Yeah.
Just know, guys, 2 presentations, 2 separate panels. So at the first panel are not going to be at the second panel. So, but both panels are just going to be as star-studded VIP. I'm excited once the names come through.
And it should be fun. Now,
Yeah.
two, we are planning to actually tape these.
Yes.
We don't know what's going to happen to that after it's taped, but it
Yeah.
will be taped.
Yeah.
And we might have another little surprise too, depending on how popular this actually is.
Yeah.
So I did want to mention something else, because you were talking about possibly, that we're talking to the Disney Family Museum. They're
Yes.
interested
Yes.
in having us come up. But Bob Burdine, and thank you for your your kind words there, Bob. But you talk about insightful stories of Disney and old Hollywood. So at one point when we were going to have more locations, more discussions and such, and it was just too much, we had to streamline this.
Yeah.
At one point, I'll go ahead and mention this.
Yeah.
At one point, we were going to have one of the talks at the 20th Century Fox lot, which is
Yes.
now being called the Fox lot.
Yes.
And so we actually went and met with a lovely lady, Jamie, at the lot, and started talking about the possibility of having an event, because my dad started his acting there at that lot, and he also started his professional artistry there at 20th Century Fox in the art department.
Yes. So
anyways, and this could be interesting. We'll throw this out and just see if there's enough interest to actually do this. So the lot is not open to the public. They don't do tours like Warner Brothers and the like, and Universal Studios. So it's pretty much a closed lot. So this is a special event to occur. We would, if we did it, it would most likely be in their commissary, which I believe you can actually go online and look it up. It's impressive. It dates back to the beginning of that studio, and they've got these amazing Art Deco murals on the wall, and the light fixtures and everything else. It's really spectacular. Yeah. And off to the side is the Shirley Temple birthday room, where she would have her birthdays and such when she was at the studio. And they would open that up to us also. And we have a screen test of my dad with Shirley Temple that we would put that in that room, on a loop. But then, so this would be basically hors d'oeuvres and probably mocktails or something like that. And then there's a couple of gentlemen that work at on the Fox lot that are basically, they're unofficial historians, and they would be taking out individually small groups to give a tour of the studio. So pretty spectacular, because they don't do this for people. Usually. I mean, it's fairly rare and everything. I won't mention a name because I haven't spoken to him, but uh, somebody very important within the Hollywood
Community.
realm
Yeah.
uh, um, is a friend of the family's, and we're hoping that he would be a part of this.
Yeah.
But it's a little pricey of what they would charge us for this, because you're dealing with union workers on the lot putting this
Yeah.
together and such.
Yeah.
So if there's enough interest to it, we would probably do this the first part of next year.
Yeah.
I'd love to do it. And the majority of that stuff would be the film part of my dad's life.
Yeah.
So we probably would be doing loops of the coming attractions that he did for 20th Century Fox. And actually, she was very kind to say that she would get in touch with the archives and see what they had in regards to my dad and 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
So there could be some more surprises there that we don't even know.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them a little bit about what you are trying to have put on the looping video that's going to be at the Bowers Museum as far as your dad's screen test, or do you want to just let that speak for itself?
Well, I did mention the Shirley Temple, that we would have it at 20th Century Fox, but
yeah,
I think we'll probably have that at the Bowers also.
Okay.
We'll also have loops from some of his movies and his serials that he did through the years.
Yeah.
So you could actually see my dad, performing on screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how my mom first knew of my dad, was actually back east when she was briefly back east, watching my dad on screen, saying, "Boy, he's cute. I'd like to meet him." Then when the family moved back, my mom's family moved back to Burbank, she found out her sister went to school with my dad's sister. And so that's how they met. Yeah.
See, that's a cute story. I like that. That's that.
It's kind of a Hollywood story, right?
Yeah, it's a Hollywood story. Do we know prices yet for the Bowers Museum? Are we're still kind of working that out?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out, all of our costs and everything. And again, we're trying to keep everything affordable, and so we haven't locked that down completely yet.
Yeah.
I have a couple things yet to set up, which will be happening this week.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the prices locked in, and the tickets will go on sale. Do we want to commit to anything?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Jiminy Cricket wants to commit you a date. Oh, yeah. I want to make sure that you are locked in, focused. This is it. Give them the date, my friend. Give them a date.
So we're hoping this coming Saturday. What's the date?
Saturday, September 7th.
Saturday, September 7th, and we will make another announcement as far as the time of when this is going to open up and go. And hopefully we'll know where this gala event will be at by that time too, and we'll move forward with that. So
this coming Saturday we're gonna have it locked down. We're gonna have it. I'm gonna be putting the screws to Maddie and telling him, this is the date. I'm 24/7.
We got to commit to this. We got to do it.
So times, pricing, where and when and how it's going to be available, how to purchase, things of that nature. So you're all going to be first here within our group here. It'll then go out to other groups, but we're giving you the first exclusive right to buy tickets. So we're going to let you guys know first. But again, September 16th, Matthew and I will be at Disneyland giving away 2 tickets to the Bowers Museum along with the Lincoln Pin. And November 10th, you can catch the man himself, Matt McKim, along with family and friends and Disney VIPs at the Bowers Museum. Thank you for your time. I know you're a busy, busy man. You've got a lot to do.
Yes. Yes.
People, like Bob, 20th Century sounds wonderful. Rose and I would love to go. If people want to go and know the value of this program, don't sell yourself short. You need to recoup your investment. That's the thing. But we keep it
tight. We would keep it tight.
yeah, we want everybody to be able to come. It's once in a lifetime, because how rare is it to get on the lot? You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's truly a
yes,
rare thing to get on that lot.
right.
So, but
So,
anyways,
are you going to mention anything else that will be for sale at the Bowers, or do you want to keep that quiet a little bit longer?
all right, guys, we've been waiting to see who stuck around. There is going to be one item, and Matt's gonna. This is this is the family. So this is absolutely family. There's one item I'm so excited about. I'm one of the biggest nerds when it comes to this. So I'm going to be standing in line the day. But Maddie, take it away. What's going to be for sale that we haven't mentioned yet?
Okay, we're not going to show you anything. We'll describe it to you.
In depth, detail.
So, we have a pencil drawing. It's an original pencil drawing of the EDL map, Euro Disneyland map, which is now Disneyland Paris, but it says Euro Disneyland. And we are going to do a giclée of that pencil. So this has never been really seen. This is what they made a copy of on a blue line. And then my dad went over the blue line with ink, black ink, and then color was added to that later.
Yeah.
Through the graphics department.
Yeah.
So anyways, this is from the original pencil. And we're going to do, should we tell numbers, or as
Yeah, we
far
can
as
give
how
numbers.
many?
We can give numbers because this is going to be extremely limited, guys. This is one you're going to definitely want to, save up for and get.
So
Yeah.
for artist proof, there will be 5 of these available. They will also include, all of these will also include all of his little notes around the outside, including meetings and whatever. So it's not like super clean, but and if you wanted to mat it and take that stuff out, you could. So we're going to do 5 artist proof.
Correct.
We're going to do 10 limited editions. And these limited editions, at this point, Brian and I will sign them. They are going to be, we might have a few other signatures in there. I don't have things locked down quite yet, but kind of a big surprise for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then these 10 will be matted and framed.
Yes.
Okay. And in the mat will be an insert of an original Sam McKim autograph. So it's not a copy. It's an actual autograph of my dad's. So there's 10
Yes.
of these
Yeah.
that are matted and framed.
Mm-hmm.
And then, darn, I don't have it right in front of me, and I can't remember the actual size of those. Those are 36 by 42,
I believe
something
so.
like that.
Yeah,
They're
I
pretty
believe.
good
Yeah.
size
Yeah.
for the artist proof and the limited editions. And then we're going to have only 50, and these are a little smaller. These are 24 by 36, I think.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I don't have that exact size down for you. But and then those are not matted and framed, and no signatures to those.
Yeah.
So a
But
little
they're
bit
limited
smaller.
edition. There's going to be 1 through
Limited
50.
editions.
They're all
And
going to have. They're all going
yes,
to
go
have
ahead.
their own. Yes. They're all going to. So I have a friend who did these for us. They worked with Upper Deck, and they've worked with quite a few companies. There is a hologram that is going to have Sam's initials in the middle. Do you? I know I've got them. I'll tell you what, guys. I will post a picture of the holograms with Matt's approval. Matt, if you're okay with that, I'll
Yeah.
post a picture of the holograms.
So these are official.
Yes, these are official. They will not be copied. They cannot be reproduced. They are limited, limited, limited. So just to let you guys know, Matt was so excited when we talked about this. And it's as a collector, I mean, I was just geeking completely. So I can't wait for them to see though. the
it's
notes,
it's
you
it's
know.
it's so different to see the map
Yeah.
when it's in its raw form, so to speak,
Yes. Yeah.
without the color,
Yes.
with it, because it's a nice pretty map, but
It
just
it
to
is.
see it in the raw pencil form
Yeah.
is unique, and it's something that hasn't been done yet as far as shared with people. And that
Yeah.
original will be on display at the Bowers,
Yeah. That
so
original
you'll
as
be able
well.
to see
So
the original. Yeah,
that right there is going to blow people's minds, because when you walk in your dad's office, you walk around a little bit and you see everything, but that map right away is what draws most people. You see it, and the characters have been changed, and his
that's true
drawing
too.
is so tight, it's so meticulous, that to see it in pencil form in its original state, that it's just been sitting there this whole time, it's it's like a piece of the holy grail. It's so cool to me. It's neat.
Yeah, it's 30 years old, and it doesn't have any damage.
Yeah,
It's nice and clean. It's been
it's perfect.
protected. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, it's wow. It's a little over an hour. That went by really fast.
Yes, it did. Yes,
Um,
it did.
Thank you all for joining us today. Maddie, appreciate your time so much. Did we
Yeah.
miss
Well,
anybody? Did we miss any
well,
questions?
thank you, Chris, for your kind words.
Yes.
I'm my dad had an interesting style, and I'm glad people appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, the
Thank
Bowers
you, Scott.
Museum, November 10th. We're going to be announcing that. Scott, we hope you come down from Oregon. It's not
Yeah.
too far. It's something. It's once in a lifetime. It's you know
Yeah.
celebration is even happening, is because of his dad's 100th birthday. What would have been his 100th birthday?
So we will share this stuff in the future. Obviously, I mean,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And there's people from um, across the United States that are asking about this, and
Yeah.
we'll accommodate for that. And
Yeah.
if we end up flying to Tokyo and Paris, I mean, that could be kind of fun too. With the Disney ties.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we will not be doing something like this because of the centennial.
Yeah.
Things that are being offered, you know, the extreme that we're doing this to
Yeah.
won't be duplicated again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, this is going to be original, guys. This is one you're not going to want to miss. And again, we will give more details. September 16th, in just a couple weeks, we're going to go live. We're going to talk more. By then, we should definitely have a lot more details. We'll be at the park. We'll be at Disneyland. Again, we will be giving away 2 tickets to the Bowers Museum that day, as well as one of these Abraham Lincoln pins that you see right
You got it?
there.
There you go.
Yeah, so that pin will be given out as well. 1 pin. So we look forward to seeing you guys. We look forward to, talking more with you. Any questions, please feel free to message us. Email us at disney.com.
Wait, you
Matt is
just
on
froze.
Instagram.
Go
Huh?
ahead. Sorry, you just
Oh,
froze. Give that
oh,
again.
freezing. DisneyACP@yahoo.com. Matt is on Instagram. Matt, what is your handle on Instagram?
Matt McKim _. Oh gosh, isn't that terrible? you just click and go, and when it's like your phone number. What's your phone number? Um, yeah, Matt McKim _studio.
Okay. Yeah, guys, there's going to be a lot more info. We're going to give more details, and we will, as we get more VIP guests and who's going to be on the panel. Again, 2 panels so far: Willie Ito, Floyd Norman, Brian Dorr. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot more special guests. Bill and Camille. Doing
Yes.
some announcing. One more person. Doing some announcing. But we look forward to showing more and giving more away, and having you all there to share with us. It's going to be an exciting event.
There'll be
Matthew,
some nice little surprises. I
yeah,
guarantee it. I
yeah, there's
guarantee
going
it.
to be it's going to be something that's going to be very, very unique and very original. And there's a couple other surprises we're not going to give away, but you're definitely going to want to see the couple people that we have showing up.
Yes.
Um, but
Yes. Yes.
anyways, thank you, Maddie, for your time. I appreciate it. We did it
Absolutely.
in just under an hour and 10
Yeah.
minutes.
We
Go.
did it.
Have an amazing Sunday.
Thank you, everyone. We hope to see you actually both in this month at the park possibly,
Yeah.
and or the barn,
Yeah.
and then we look forward to actually having you experience these wonderful events. These three.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
again, Maddie,
Thank you, my
for
little
being
brother.
here. We
I
will see you
appreciate it.
next time. Have a great weekend and enjoy your holiday if you have it off tomorrow. Take
Yes,
care, everybody.
absolutely.
Bye bye.
Bye.